So it's the morning after delivery and it's time to start putting the scooter together. So let's take a look and see what exactly we have. Here's how the scooter came. So in the cage. It's easy to see from this angle that this here got bent, which I guess is why the cage is there. You can see here that the cage is 66.5 inches long. And a little over 32, nearly 33 inches high. 19.5 inches wide. The pallet it came on 32.5 wide by 73 long. It's a big package. I'm very glad I had them delivered on a truck with a lift gate. So as I'm disassembling these bolts and nuts here, I found out that the bolt is 14 millimeter and the nut is 13 millimeter, which is a little bit annoying for me and my English tools, but half inch fits the nut just fine. I have a 14, the 9/16 will do it. These aren't on there very tight. 9/16 on the bolt will do it, but yeah, 14 and 13, it'll work. Alright, so now once I've got all these bolts off down here, I'm going to take the cage off. The bike is held up by a bolt here. And that should loosen us up. Two more wire ties. here and the owner's manual. Maybe there will be instructions in here. Alright, so I noticed while it's still on the frame, there's a scratch along here. It's probably not that big a deal on the kickstand here. Looks like something happened here. That's for sure. It's cosmetic. This is a gouge in the plastic. This looks like a sticker on the plastic. The rear tire is wired to this frame here. The frame came off, I'm sure, during shipping sometime. Other than that, it looks in pretty good condition. Still haven't found assembly instructions though. Just finished installing the back bar here using these 6 bolts. There, these are all 10 millimeter, and these are small enough. I don't have the metric equivalent, but I found out that a 5/16 fits them. Okay, this is probably this part back here that holds the trunk. It's probably the cheapest pot metal I've ever seen, but it's metal, it's not plastic, so it'll probably hold. Alright, so now I'm going to roll the bike off the frame here. First take the axle off. Okay, so I haven't found any installation instructions, so now I got to figure out how to put the front wheel on without instructions. We got the axle, one axle, nuts, and maybe this little bit here might be good for something. So we'll see here. This off. The user manual says that you don't need to squeeze the brakes very hard because they're hydraulic. Unless steel braided cable is a fluid, that does not look hydraulic to me. So there's this part here, meets with this chunk there. Surely got to go like that. Stick those two together. Spacer on that side. That gap there is not going to fly. But as it is, it's pretty centered. There's plenty of room for the brake. Just got to find a spacer for over there. And this part does not look like the right thing. Alright, so when I took the axle off here, I found that that was the nut that I took off. And here is the little spacer that I took off. So that definitely goes right in there. That's the right thing. Okay, so after having watched a video at Scooter Madness, I found that this part goes against the steering column here. That's what this part is for that bolt. I just have this one in here temporarily to allow me to steer, to test things. But so now all I got to do is put a little Loctite on the threads here and tighten that down, and we'll be installed because I got the spacer there. So here we go, and a little Loctite. That's it, it's on. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put the bolt for the steering column on. So first I'm going to place that washer there. Stick that in. Get it through. It's hard to do with one hand. See if I can get the job in. Go. It's in. Turn it. That should be plenty. Go ahead and put the hook. Alright, so there it is, all tightened down and everything. Feels really good. One thing to note is that all the nuts are 14 millimeter. This bolt is 13 millimeter down here on the axle. That one is 12 millimeter. Again, the nut is 14. So, there's only a dozen parts to this bike, but just like a car, they're all different sizes. So, these guys back here were 10 millimeter. These were 5/16. I'm certain they were metric, but whatever. Alright, so now we're going to put the shroud on here. Clip the connector for the headlight. There. See if we can't get these six clips here to engage the body shroud. It is fussy. I think that's got it. If it doesn't, I'll keep fussing with it. Alright, so I'm going to put the mirror on. I've taken the nut and backed it up the collar as far as it can go. And that'll go. So now that I've got it started, I'm going to put a little Loctite on the threads there. And I'll tighten it down. And do the same to the other side. Another thing I found was that the starboard side mirror hole here was completely full of mud and gunk and metal shavings and that sort of stuff. So when I first put it in there, it didn't really work out so well. I can feel something in there. Not sure exactly what it is, but I'll get it out. When I blew it out with the air compressor, it just shot metal shavings everywhere, all out of there. So it was just completely loaded full of metal shavings from the machine shop. Well, now it's clean. Alright, so here I've got the back rack, and I'm going to put the trunk on. There's all these different bolt patterns. here, and I've fussed with it for a little bit, and I don't think that there's actually a way for it to go on and be centered. Like, it's actually kind of impressive that there's really no orientation. All these 6 slotted holes on the frame, and I don't even know how many, 4 slotted holes and 10 regular holes. There's just no way for it to fit, and I got bars and long bolts, but I can't see how it fits. Okay, so I took the dash apart looking for the beeper that sounds whenever you run the turn signals. So here, just turn it on, and whenever you turn these turn signals on, oh my goodness, it sounds like a truck backing up. So I'm not going to use it. So I took it apart thinking the buzzer was in here, but it's not. It's right there. So didn't need to do this, but it does let me know that these lights in here, they're incandescent bulbs. So I expect them to go out soonish, you know, a year or two, just to know that that's something that's going to have to be replaced. Find some LED to stick in there or something like that.